Welcome to Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We are now joined by Jesse Melgar. He is a vice president with Honor PAC, which is what?
Thank you. Honor PAC is actually a statewide political action committee committed to empowering Latino, Latina LGBT communities. So we do that through political action. We endorse candidates who support our issues. We, take stances on ballot initiatives, et cetera.
And I have to tell you, it's probably a good time to be a member of this organization. There are some real bright up-and-coming leaders that actually have arrived. I think of Ricardo Lara, California State Senator. I think of Robert Garcia, Vice Mayor of Long Beach on the California Coastal Commission.
Right.
That's only two names, but it's an example of how gay and lesbian Latinos are breaking in.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, and I think the pace with which we're seeing a lot of the LGBT and Latino issues moving forward is just incredible. And two of the folks that you've mentioned are actually affiliated with our organization in one way or another. Senator Lara, who now chairs the California Legislative Latino Caucus, is a founder of our organization back in 2006.
And I believe that Mr. Lara recently sponsored legislation which made it through committee. You know where I'm going?
Yes.
On the issue of Boy Scouts.
Yeah, it's called the Youth Equality Acts. And essentially what it would do is for organizations that receive tax exemptions from the government, it encourages them to obviously comply with the law of non-discrimination. And if they are found to have discriminatory policies, for example, we're seeing the issue right now with the Boy Scouts of America, they are not allowing openly LGBT folks to work within the organization. So what that does is it challenges the tax exemption status of these organizations who don't necessarily follow the non-discrimination clause.
And that would be the California tax exemption?
Yes, correct.
So California as a state can handle that issue.
It can,
the federal issues.
A whole different can of worms. But yeah, and it's exciting. There's a lot of issues going on right now. Obviously, the Supreme Court's going to be ruling at a federal level on marriage equality, we're thinking in June.
And I do want to ask you about that. I'd be remiss if I didn't, because I think about Proposition 8, which put into our Constitution a ban on marriage equality. And at the time, the Latino community was split. I think it was about 50-50, which surprised some. But then if you look deeper, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Latinos tend to be more socially conservative.
Right, and we're seeing that drastic shifts in the last year even, I think, with the president coming out in support of same-sex unions, or marriages rather, with different folks across the country sort of taking a stand. We're seeing a drastic impact in public opinion, specifically within the Latino community, on this issue, and I think it's only going to get better.
What about the question of immigration reform? Because there's no doubt, in my opinion, that we likely will see some type of overhaul of our immigration system. But the question of same-sex marriage becomes a heated one.
Right, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what the final iteration of the immigration reform looks like. From our perspective, we want to make sure, even at the federal level, that folks are pushing to include LGBT issues, to include same-sex couples as a part of the discussion. I think that's important, and they're not issues that are independent of one another. They're definitely intersected.
Now, I'm sure you know that in the Inland Empire, there is a congressman. He's not Latino, he's Asian American, named Mark Takano. He is an out man, elected to the United States Congress. And in July, you're going to have an event, presumably in Mr. Takano's area in Riverside.
Right, I'm very excited. We actually just got confirmation. It's going to be July 13th rather, on Saturday. And Congressman Takano is the first openly LGBT person of color elected, period, to the U.S. Congress, and the first LGBT person in the state of California.
Wow.
It happens to be from Riverside, where I'm from originally.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, very true. So we're doing this event to honor him, and as well as Assemblymember Jose Medina for the work they're doing, specifically in the Inland Empire on behalf of the LGBT and Latino communities.
Well, Jesse, thank you for joining us, Vice President of Honor PAC. My name is Brad Pomerance. We thank you for joining us on Time Warner Cable's Local Edition.